You know, I ain't gonna lie. I love doing what I do because it's like not from an egotistical place, but when I say something, it's because I know what I'm saying to be true. It ain't because I read it in some big old book. Like I was just at the gym, just got back, talking to a guy, and for whatever reason, God been putting more men in my path to talk to, and they've just been trusting me, and I'm humbled. With this particular gentleman, man, we was actually laughing about how he is exactly who I was describing in that master class. Now, for the last year and a half, he's been watching all my stuff. Anytime I do a master class, he watched the one I did, what your ex really thinks after he fumbles you. And he was like, man, that was me. I watched that master class, blah, 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 blah. Now, matter of fact, let me put that link there. For those who don't see it at the bottom, I did repost the encore if you missed that master class. And again, that's free. So long story short, I met the brother because he was telling me, this was again about a year and a half ago, how he lost his ex and he was trying to get it back. Now, he one of the lucky few that got his ex back. And according to what he just said, they've been good ever since. But I remember when he first came to me, again, I'm in the gym, big dude. You would never think he was going through what he was going through. Like his composure is crazy. But he came to me, man, and basically broke down, told me what was going on, asked me some advice, asked me how I could help him, etc. And it all came down to this, though. The reason why he had lost her to begin with was because she didn't feel safe with him. And I was just talking about this. I think it was the last masterclass. I don't know if it was y'all or my mentorship group. But like a woman cannot love a man that she does not feel safe with. She cannot love a man that she does not feel safe with. A woman's number one need, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, is the need to be secured and to feel safe. Ladies, correct me if I am wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But a woman must feel safe and secure in order to even love you. And I know some of y'all think, well, love supposed to be unconditional. No, actually, no. I do believe the conditions will go so much deeper than any superficial surface level thing, but that ain't superficial or surface level. Let me break this down real quick. If a woman does not feel safe, all her energy now has to go to being safe, looking out for the next threat, trying to pick apart everything that you say, but for what's not true, what is true, because she don't know. What is she going to do next? Who's got her back since you clearly don't? It's like we as men were naturally designed to handle attacks and things that hurt us and then bounce back or be functional. Women were not designed that way. Keep it real with you. Women were designed to be intuitive and all these other, but there were some things women were not designed to do like we were. That's why we go to war. That's why we're the protectors. So when a woman is not made to feel safe in a man's presence, she's going to overcompensate with the energy that normally would be reserved for loving and being nurturing and being soft and being feminine. Now she's going to have to make sure she's got her own back. That's why when you get a woman who's in survival mode or a woman who doesn't feel safe, she's often more masculine than what she normally would be. She's normally hyper independent. She's overcompensating to create safety, whereas you should be you if you're in her life. Now, back to what I was saying. The brother had lost his woman initially because she didn't feel safe. Again, luckily for him, that was just a season. That wasn't his character. He had made enough foundation to where his ex was willing to give that another chance, and he was able to come correct, and they've been off to the races ever since. But I'm going to give some of you brothers in that exact same situation, or before, hopefully you even lose your girl, some signs as to why your woman does not feel safe with you still. And you may not want to count on that luck that brother had. The first thing that's going to prevent a woman from ever feeling safe with you is inconsistency. And I get it. Look, I'm a type of man, I go through some things. I'm high one day, I'm low the next. I totally understand. But self-awareness will save you a lot of trouble if you know that right now in this season of your life that you cannot be consistent because your mental ain't where it need to be, because your money ain't where it need to be, your bandwidth, whatever. You need to stay away from any woman that wants something real, because you might mess around and run into that woman that was really designed to be your soulmate and do nothing but burn the bridge that she was hoping to cross into your heart forever and make that her home. You might mess that up for good. That first impression gonna be really hard to undo. Because if you have no consistency, again, the woman cannot take her mind off of what's coming next, so that she can look and be and feel and experience the now and give her full self to it. And if she can't do that, she can't love you. What you receive from her, even if she has love, you will not be receiving love from that woman. she'll be in survival mode. She'll constantly wonder what the next day holds, what the next conversation holds, what the next conflict holds. Are the finances going to be okay? Is she going to get her needs met next week, next month? What are your intentions with her now? And that brings me to the second reason why your woman will never feel safe with you, is because there is no clarity. Of course, where there's no consistency, there's definitely no clarity. But some of y'all, you don't even have the intention set. Like you can't even verbalize something. I had somebody recently tell me something a dude was saying to them was like, man, every time I tell what my intentions are with a woman, things don't go well. So I'm just existing right here now in the moment. I get it. All that be present stuff, I get it. But look, let me tell you something. If that man can't be definitive enough to let you know, right now, I'm not on relationships. Right now, I am on relationships. But if he just try to leave it vague, he can't in his common sense be thinking that you're going to love him. He probably just wants something to enjoy for a moment. But there's no way he could be expecting a woman's love. And for those of y'all who are foolish enough, and I say that from a place of love, I'm talking to my brothers here, not my enemies. I love y'all enough to tell you the truth, where some of these guys just want to coddle your feelings on podcasts and stir y'all up against women. This ain't about no gender war. This is really about the exact opposite. Removing those obstacles that are preventing you from loving your woman and receiving the love that you're expecting. If there is no clarity, if there's no decisiveness, if there's no definitiveness, if there's no intentionality in how you are pursuing that woman, even after you got her, she's going to be in survival mode. Either now or in the close future, in the near future. Ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, so they don't think it's just me talking. I already know, again, it's always pans out to be true. I don't do this for no ego. I really want to see y'all thrive. You know what I'm saying? Even if this right now in this season requires you to be alone and thrive that way, whatever. But for my fellas out there, if you can't be clear to that woman, she can't even fully release her creativity, her femininity to serve you, to benefit you. If she's confused about where y'all are going, where she stands, what's coming next, because everything is out of alignment. You giving her word salads, you're manipulating, you spinning stuff around all the time. One day you want to be lover boy, the next day you want to be, closed off to her and ice cold. One day you want to make love to her like she means something to you. The next day you expect her to just do for you and you don't do nothing for her. If there's no clarity, there's no consistency, she cannot feel safe. And if the woman cannot feel safe, she cannot love you. She can have love for you, but she cannot love you. Another thing that will prevent your woman from feeling safe enough to love you is if there's no urgency. And I know a lot of people try to leverage that whole, urgent for what? We don't want to rush. We don't want to rush. But when it comes to being horny, you rush you rush no problem. Either she with it or you go on to the next person. You real quick when it's something that you want. Or it's when it's something that has instant gratification. And when I say urgency, let me be very clear. Rushing is whenever you're skipping steps in the process to try to jump straight to what you want in the end. That's rushing. Urgency is we're not going to waste time. We're going to do the right things. We're going to hit the right steps, but there's not going to be any wasted movement towards the end goal. So urgency can still take time. But if you're sitting back on your hands, when it comes to say for instance, y'all been in a relationship for a while and you know that she wants marriage, you establish that you want marriage, you can't even articulate to her what it is that's stopping you from taking the next step, what it is you don't feel comfortable enough with so that you guys can address that. You just sitting around making false promises, stalling her out, pacifying her with one day we will. Yeah, eventually. And there's no urgency. She's not going to feel safe with that. Why am I saying that? Now, this is especially for women who are more mature. They've had some life experiences. It's because they've been BS'd before. Again, ladies, correct me if I'm wrong. Women who are 25 and older, especially 30 and over, they've been BS'd before. They've been given a runaround. Meanwhile, the man the entire time was trying to get her to be so comfortable that it would be too painful for her to really stand for herself in the pace that things needed to move in order for her to hold to that boundary of, if this ain't going there, I need to go. If this ain't heading to marriage, I need to go. There's been men that came before you that rope-a-doped her essentially And so now she's in a situation where she's not carrying baggage, but she's had a learned lesson. She's making better decisions. So if you're not showing urgency in doing the right thing, taking the right steps, being effective, being clear, saying, hey, money is a problem. Let's get our credit scores up. Let's get money in the bank to a certain degree. Let's get a couple of assets that are producing cash flow residually before we bring children in a situation. If you're not able to say, this is exactly what I'm on, this is how much time I plan to execute this in, and then that's when I feel like a marriage would be responsible as far as bringing kids into this situation. If you can't be definitive, whatever your plan is, bro, that woman is not going to feel safe, because she understands that a man who is truly about what he say he's about, he's not wasting no time in getting there. Again, he's not trying to rush. She's not trying to rush, but she wants to be intentional. There's no time to waste. One thing about us men, and I'm just kind of going off a little tangent here, but we love to waste a woman's time and then tell them when they get a little bit older, they're no good, because we've effectively wasted their time. As a collective, we've effectively wasted their time and then tell them they're less attractive, less appealing to us, because we've been a part of the problem, wasted their time. I think that's the biggest gaslighting move out here at a mass level. Play around, play games. Y'all wasted y'all best. We wasted their best years having them believe in us, thinking we the exception to the rule. Then we turn out to be ruliest. No urgency, man. Another reason why your woman does not feel safe and never will feel safe to love you, and therefore you complaining all these other things, but really you're in control of this, is because there's an incongruent lifestyle. Like, and I don't know if I've talked about this before, but being in a real relationship, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a person that you choose. It's an entire new way of doing things. It's a new program. So if you bring single lifestyle into monogamous, healthy relationship, if you bring volatile arguments with whoever it is that you're entertaining into what's supposed to be healthy conflict resolution with your queen, that's an incongruent lifestyle. Like, things ain't matching up. There's misalignment there. If you bring fallback games, passive aggressive communication into a woman who needs assertive dialogue, is willing to be accountable, and wants to work through things instead of leaving at the first sign of trouble, you have an incongruent lifestyle. Your whole lifestyle is different. If you want to go out and hang out all night, stay out overnight, and you got a woman at home, or you got a woman at her home waiting on your call and she ain't got your call, that's fine to do if you single and you just living and you doing you. But when you got somebody else, it's hard to consider, bro. You can't keep that lifestyle up. Are you necessarily doing anything wrong? Because that's the first thing I hear from dudes. Well, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I ain't cheating. I ain't beating on her. I ain't cussing her out. I ain't doing nothing wrong. But is what you're doing effective for what it is that you say that you want with this woman? Are you protecting the peace of mind for this woman that you've asked to be your peace? Are you? Like, keep it real with yourself. This ain't bashing no man. Again, I say this from a place of love. Let's ask you, audit your own actions. You want this woman to play one of the biggest roles in your life that anybody can play, if not the biggest role. But you want to put her in the worst condition and then ask her for the best output. Make it make sense. If your lifestyle is incongruent with a head of household, good man, honest man, faithful man, etc., brother, she's not going to be able to deny the misalignment. It's going to be like, wait, something ain't right here. Hold on. You pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining. What you mean you happy that you got a good woman and you got a solid woman and you got this, that, and the other, but your lifestyle is giving a lot of attention to the girls that you say you don't want me to be nothing like. Your lifestyle is scrolling up and down certain profiles and everything else that's exact opposite from what I am and what you said you love about me. You at the strip clubs, you want to go on boys trips, and then your phone just go dead 12 hours out the day, overnight. But you saying you so happy and you're a lover boy and you want to be in a real relationship, you want something real, you tired of the streets, but you still in the streets. You want a child, you want me to have your child, but you also want to act like a child. Brother, ain't no woman in her right mind gonna be able to deny that don't match up. The math ain't mathing. 2 + 2 is not equaling 4. Ladies, tell me if I'm speaking, foolishness or if I'm speaking facts. I don't just talk to y'all women. I talk to my brothers too. Because for us to win, it's the same message, it's different language. But for us to win, we're going to have to work together. But a lot of times we're working against ourselves. And I'm going to give you one more reason. One more reason that your woman will never feel safe with you, bro. It's because you lack empathy. You lack empathy. I don't know if we quite understand the value in empathizing with a woman. But if you ever heard your woman say, man, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. I feel like you're not hearing me. That means you lack empathy. Empathy is not diagnosing her as needing help, needing counseling, having trust issues from her last relationship, telling her what she's always doing, telling her you ain't got time for this right now. That's not empathy. Empathy is not immediately proposing what you think is a solution before you even heard her out. I just want y'all, again, ladies, stop me when I'm lying. If I'm telling a lie, stop me in my tracks. Derrick, you lying, stop right there. Empathy is when you hold space for your woman, you allow her to find the language, whatever time that takes to find the language to express what she's feeling. When you carefully consider what she's saying, and then have her confirm that you have the right understanding of what it is she's feeling, whatever you've done to make her feel that way. When you reserve any connection to how she feels to something you mad about too, just leave that out right now, okay? I'm all about both people having a voice, but just for a second, be able to do that. And then asking her to help you understand what would make her feel safer going forward. Empathy. I'm giving y'all a top level kind of masterclass, if you will, real top level of empathy. When your woman does not feel like you empathize with her, she's always going to feel like you're going to operate from your own interest at the sake of her best interest. You jump into a conversation, she's telling you how she feels, she's telling you something she got a problem with, but you keep jumping in, or your response to her, after you let her talk, and you basically just was waiting for her to be done, and you jump in with how she's messed up too, or how you are like, all right, okay. All right, you're right. Just to shut her up. No empathy. Then she knows she really didn't make any progress with you. And if she ain't make no progress with you, your decision making ain't made no progress. So whatever decision that you made, whatever place that you made it from is going to repeat itself. You just hurt her and told her the hurt is coming back around. Just give it some time. And she supposed to feel safe? And you see, the funny thing is on the back end, we understand that. Y'all ever notice, like, when a man loses you, like when you finally actually leave and you show him he ain't got no control over you, you show him that you ain't thinking nothing about him, like you really are moving on, that man seems to have all the introspection in the world about how you felt, what you was trying to say to him. He can give it back to you almost poetically. Y'all ever notice that? Y'all ever notice that? That's what an ex, the ex always has time to really think. Now, there's certain other things a toxic ex might do to try and be in denial, because denial is going to feel a whole lot better than accountability, than that real honest, raw look in the mirror. But if that man, if that man doesn't empathize with you now, I guarantee you, especially if you showed up as your best self, give it some time. After the relationship ends, and I talked about this in the masterclass, what your ex thinks after fumbling you, give it some time. He ain't going to be able to live that down. It's going to haunt him. All the things that you were saying, but his ego was louder than your voice. His pride was louder than your voice. His denial came before whatever damage that he caused you. All of that, it don't do nothing for you when you sitting there laid up knowing there's a hole in your heart now. As a man, there's a hole in your heart now. It's all of that, oh man, it's your fault, man. If you didn't do this, then I wouldn't do that. Oh, get out my face, man. You always want to talk, man. I can't even play the game in peace. Brother, that is not going to soothe you. When you sitting up in that house and you hitting up all them girls on your roster from your old days, and them girls They ain't really feeling you, but they'll maybe go out with you for a couple of, some free food or something like that. And you just keep getting reminded of how you had one that really loved you at your core. That ain't gonna soothe you. All that pride and ego stuff, it ain't gonna hold you over. When you having erectile dysfunction because you're dealing with a woman and you don't want nothing to do with her after she's done, but you had your best friend that was willing to do all of those things and maybe even more for you, and you done lost her, and now somebody else is folding her up like a paper plane. Now you can't even finish what you started with the girl. That was just supposed to be something physical. It was all fun and games before, though. All that pride and ego, man. And I'm not saying this again to cut you down. I'm really saying this to keep you from cutting yourself down by cutting a good woman out your life, because you're not ensuring that she's able to feel safe with you. I done talked, man, too many. I'm a man myself. I've been there myself. When a toxic ex fumbles a good woman, that roller coaster of thoughts and emotions, it can feel like it's never going to end. And for some, it don't. I'm gonna keep it real. Again, I'm not gonna go too far in depth with that, because I went through that, because a lot of women, without understanding how your toxic ex thinks, you might, after the relationship, misinterpret some of the things he's doing to manipulate you and try to imply you were the problem. You might interpret that as something that, reflects on your character, your value, when it doesn't. Again, I broke that down in the free masterclass. So if you want access to that, here's the link. What your ex thinks after fumbling you. For about an hour, I went in on how to decode and discern all little maneuvers toxic exes will do after a relationship. They're really going through denial, but I break that down, even if they're trying to get back with you and love bomb all over again. If you want access to that, there's a link. Moral of the story is this, though, man. For my brothers out there, again, a woman's number one need is safety, security. They're interchangeable. They're synonymous. If you ever trying to figure out where you went wrong or how to get back right, speak to that. Just ask that question. What's going on right now that's making it hard for you to feel safe with me emotionally? Oh, man, I don't put my hands on her. I don't threaten her. Okay, yeah, whatever. Because them bruises that you're leaving, the eyes can't see. And sometimes those are the worst ones, because they cause battles that she has to fight that nobody else knows that she's fighting. So now she feels isolated, even though she's in a relationship with you. More lonely than whenever she was single. Hope that don't go over your head. Y'all share this if you got any truth from it. I'm your big brother looking out per usual. And I don't ask for your money. Keep your money. All I ask is that you pay it forward. So if you got something from this, hit that share button so somebody else in your timeline can get some of this value as well. And if you want access to the masterclass, what your ex really thinks after fumbling you. Again, I gave away all the game, and it's free. It's not a course. It's not a product. This is a free game. I just went more in depth there than I did just now. But I'll holler at y'all later. The link is right here, pinned in the comments, also in the caption. If you don't see it in the comments, y'all be good. Peace.